Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I'm excited to share a project with you using a glimmer hot foil plate. I haven't glimmered in a while, and so I thought we'd break out the hot foil machine and do a little foiling. My project today is also part of a Instagram hop. Spellbinders is doing their very first Instagram hop. I hope you can head on over to Team Spellbinders over at Instagram and join in the hop. There's a giveaway to go with it. This is a beautiful, wonderful, well, it's not beautiful, wonderful. It is a real pretty, wonderful tulips glimmer hot foil plate. There is a sentiment that says have a wonderful day, and then there's a die that will cut out the outline of the tulips, and then there's a die that will cut out the sentiment also. So 2 glimmer plates and 2 dies. My foiling today, I want a Copic color over my foiling, and so I wanted a dark foil. So I'm using PEWTER. PEWTER is a real pretty, almost like a silvery browny foil. I love this. I'm going to be making a card with some real bright, springy colors, and I think this is going to go wonderful with those bright colors. So we're going to foil with PEWTER. We're not going to use too many products today. Actually, I can share with you all the products we're going to be using to make our card. We have the wonderful tulips foil plate. I'm also going to bring in the Spellbinders woven glimmer plate. This glimmer plate will fit in A2 size card, front and back. It's a real pretty pattern. We're going to use this. And then we will also use some Aura Opalescent Color Essential Sequins. We need a little sparkle, and this is going to be just what we need. And other than our Copic markers, this is the only thing that we're going to use for our card today. And foam tape, of course. We got to have foam tape. So I have my glimmer machine heating up off to the side. Let's push everything off to the side, and we're going to start by trimming down some foil. Usually I have it on this side, but my plugs were full over here, so I have to put it over on this side. My cord wants to go to the opposite side, that's why it's over here. Okay, my power light's on. I'm going to go ahead and take my tulip foil plate, place this. I'm going to put it upside down and a little bit at an angle on my platform here. I broke out my Spellbinders quick trimmer. We'll use this to trim our foil. I store all of these together in my hot foil box. Let's see. I think that's a good amount here. I'm going to grab my foil blade. You know what? I have my paper blade, but I've never used it. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is straight. And we will just trim a piece. And then I'm going to scoot it down a little bit, and we need a piece for our sentiment. My timer light went off, so I'm going to go ahead and press that timer. And I will put my foil face down, and then I have a piece of cardstock, just using white cardstock. I'm going to place my cardstock right on top, and then I have my sandwich. My sandwich, I have some thick cardstock and some printer paper. To me, that works best for my die cutting machine, and we are good to go. My timer stopped flashing, so I'm going to go ahead and take this to my die cutting machine, and I will be right back. This foiling right here didn't foil too well. I think it's because I used a lighter weight cardstock, but I'm going to still use this only because we're going to double up on our image here. So let's trim one more piece of foil. And it just foiled beautifully. Okay, so now we have 2 images, And I'm going to put this back, and we'll put this off to the side, and we're going to create a background with our woven plate. Okay, I am finished with my foiling, if this goes well. And it went beautifully. So I have my sentiment. I also did my woven background. If you want to create a card front panel, what you would do is foil one side and turn around and foil another side to create, because it's continuous. You can actually make it continuous. But I think I can get away with just one panel for my background. Okay, so my foiling is all good to go. I'm going to go ahead and turn my machine off. And then we're going to do a little bit of coloring and die cutting. For today, I'm just going to color in one of my tulips using, again, my Copic markers, and then I'll do this one off camera. Now what I am going to do is I'll do one color on here, and then I'll switch the colors around on this one, because since we're going to layer it, I don't want two tulips on top of each other. So we're going to play a little music while we color, and when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done, at least on this panel. And again, I'll take my next panel and I'll color this off camera. And then while I am coloring, I'll also die cut out both of these along with my sentiment. So I will be right back. Okay, I went ahead and did my coloring. I didn't bother coloring in the lower portion because this one is going to cover it. So basically we just want these 4 tulips colored in. Now I love that the die cuts out just a partial bit of your image, because you could use this for different size cards, slim lines, mini slim lines, and I like that. Okay, so we have our florals and our sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and take this panel and we're going to trim this down. This is going to be for our background. So I trim my woven panel, and now I have a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to go ahead and add our woven panel to the right side of this, and then there's going to be a little bit overhanging. I'm going to take that little bit overhanging and put it up on the very top because I think this is going to peek out from our tulips. So we're going to kind of stretch this. Let's go ahead and use our tape runner. And then I'll flip this around. This extra piece, I will trim away the excess, and then we will add this to the very top to continue that pattern. And I think just to make it look a little more cohesive, I'm going to trim a little bit off the top. Okay, I think this is going to work. Kind of doing a little cutting and pasting. After we have this done, we're going to take the tulips that I didn't finish on the bottom. I'm going to place this, and I'm going to on my panel, and I'm going to place it almost kind of at an angle. Okay, and now after this is adhered, I'm going to place this where I want it. I think this is a good place, but I'm going to lightly tack this down. Right. I'll tack this down, and then I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to trim away the excess. And the reason I tacked it down is because I'm going to remove it, and then we're going to pop this up with some foam tape. So I can lift this, flip this around. I'm going to bring in some foam tape, and we will adhere this. I'm going to remove the release paper off of the foam tape, and then we'll just line this up in the corner. Lovely, and now we have a little bit of dimension. Now since we're bottom heavy, meaning we have a lot of color in this bottom corner, I'm going to bring in my corner rounder, and we're going to round the top corner here. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side. And before we add our sentiment, I know I want my sentiment to go right here, but I want to add a little extra color in the background. So I'm going to bring in some same color markers, and we are going to fill in some of these squares with the marker here. Now I'm doing this also because I think if I do this, it'll kind of take away from my patch job over here. So you can draw our eyes kind of all over our panel. We're going to do a little diverting. Okay, I think that's just the right amount of color. I'm going to go ahead and take this panel, we're going to flip it around, and just using my tape runner, we're going to adhere this to our card base, which is a standard A2 size card base. And since we have the corner rounded on our panel, it's a top folding, but I'm going to go ahead and take my 1/2 inch corner rounder. We're going to round our corner on our card base too. And then we'll place this in the center. Wonderful. I'm going to flip around. I already put foam tape behind my sentiment. I'm going to remove the release paper, and we're going to tack this down to the front of our card. Since our woven is a little bit wonky, I'm going to hold it up to make sure I have it straight. A little tricky because my eyes want to follow that line. Okay, after we have this done, we're going to bring in some Color Essential sequins. This is the Aura Opalescent. We have a very busy pattern, and so I thought some subtle sparkle would work good. Just using my glue, I'm going to add a few dots here. I think that's the perfect amount. And then lastly, I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm just going to do a little bit of highlighting on our florals in the darker areas. And that finishes off my project today for Spellbinders. This is part of a brand new collection called For Petals. And to celebrate the collection, Spellbinders is having that Instagram hop. And it's a giveaway too. You can win a prize. Details for that are over on Team Spellbinders over at Instagram. I hope you can join in the fun. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.